Subs here. So today I want to talk about how my mentorship student Maggie got two high-ticket clients in 14 days. So I'm going to be coming to you weekly inside of this Facebook group, inside of the YouTube channel again, every single week, making sure we're giving you some kind of a breakdown of all different students. So the reason why we're doing these breakdowns of student results is because I know when I first got started back in 2015 in both my accounting and bookkeeping business, there was not really any signs of what to do. There was a lot of things like, build a website, start a blog, go to networking events, but there wasn't very detailed information on how to do a lot of those things. Now, today, we make these videos for two reasons. Number one, so you can get some encouragement, get some education about what you need to be doing. And number two, I understand there's a portion of people that actually watch these videos who, rather than watching a bunch of videos to try and learn how to piece it together, they want more direct help and just someone to hold them by the hand, guide them along, take them to their goals in a step-by-step manner. For those people, we have what's called our mentorship program. So I'm going to tell you a bit more about the mentorship program at the end of the video, but if you're interested in learning more about that, go ahead and click on the link inside the video, either above or below the description, so you can actually go learn more about it, see if it's a good fit for yourself, and see if you can go get to the next level. So back to this thing. So in order to get two clients in 14 days. So hers was a very interesting story because she had been trying to grow her business for about it was about like a month and a half before she joined my program. And a lot of people they like waiting for like three months, 6 months, a year of trying things out on their own before they actually go and like get help versus a lot of people that are very successful as soon as they see like there's a path to success they generally move forward really quickly. So the first thing we had to do for her was really fix what's called your mindset of value. So it's all about getting your mind right. So a lot of accountants and bookkeepers, when they think of value, they think of two things. Number one, either a million different things they're giving to them, like I'm going to be on call, I'm going to do this for less, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm also going to do payroll, I'm going to do your invoicing, I'm going to do everything, right? And you actually become more of like an admin rather than like an accounting professional. Now, what value really is it's not in the techno babble, right? It's not like in the stuff that you're going to do for them. It's more in the feelings and the clarity that you're going to be actually giving to the business owner. Now, there are micro areas of values for every single industry, but for the most part, it's really about clarity, knowing exactly what you're offering, and then being able to convey how you're going to fix a lot of the problems so they get peace of mind, so they get a lot of added mind space back. A lot of business owners, no matter how sophisticated they are, if they're doing the accounting and bookkeeping themselves, or if they have someone who's bad who's doing it, when they don't have clarity of where they're going, and if they're thinking about how they need to be fixing it constantly, it adds a layer of like weight, like a mental weight that kind of goes on them, and it makes it harder for them to actually make business decisions to move the business forward in a very timely manner, and it slows down the growth of their business. Now, understanding that, you need to be communicating in ways of how all the different problems they have around their accounting and bookkeeping, you're going to be able to fix that in very simple terms in order to give them clarity, peace of mind, more mental space, and the ability to focus on areas of the business that are going to provide growth so they can actually hit their real financial goals. Now, one thing, and if you're talking about like how to convey it, right, value is almost think about it like so I when I was back in college, I had this one professor. It was an ITM class, right? Internet Technology Management class. And she literally would talk for 40 minutes to 50 minutes straight. And it would just be like, whoa, whoa, and just so just like boring. And the information itself, like when I looked at the PowerPoint slide, the information was really great, but she just went into way too much detail about stuff that didn't really was not meaningful for the audience at hand. So it almost felt like you were just going to that class just literally to take a nap. Even if you want to stay focused, there's just so much information, so much coming at you, so overwhelming that it was just like it just didn't really make sense. You didn't want to be there. Versus another case, when I used to do a lot of martial arts, there was this instructor that moved to Michigan. From the Carolinas when I was just like I think like a freshman in college, and the way this guy talked about martial arts, it was very like some of the stuff he was talking about was very boring, but the passion he showed with it, the way he was like, okay, this is how you need to be holding your hand, this is how you be doing, this is why the strike works better when you do it like this versus when you do it like this. It's terrible, like all these different pieces of clarity and like nuances about the thing in a way that just made it fun, exciting, and energized, made it so much easier to learn and want to be around this person. His martial arts school just started thriving, right? Just started thriving because people loved being around him because the value was not necessarily just in the information he was giving. It was the way he portrayed it. It was the simplicity of it. It's the way that it was very tangible and very quick action steps. And that's what it really takes to be valued. It's not just you telling a bunch of different factual things that no one understands and just kind of proves that you know what you're doing. That's not really proving that you know what you're doing. You prove that you know what you're doing when you're able to communicate in a very easy, simple way that the average person can understand. Okay. And then finally, when it comes to value, a lot of people have trouble really pricing out their services. So we give all of our students like a pricing tool and a pricing calculator. It's actually being revamped this week. I actually went and talked to like this app developer. So rather than just having like a calculator tool like on different spreadsheets, we're actually making it into like an app. So it can be both on the computer and it can be actually on their phone. So if a student's like talking to a business owner, they can literally just punch in the different codes and know exactly how much to charge. It's super cool. It's very expensive to do that transition to like make it look great. But I just figured it was just time to do that. So that is the value. Okay. So next thing is the organization and the processes. So where to focus on? Okay. So that's services versus brands versus retainers, right? Now, and I'm kind of writing my notes. If you want me to send you these notes, what I actually did was I actually made it into more of like an organized PDF of my Remarkable. So I took all of my chicken scratch handwriting I'm trying to read right now and turned it into like a PDF that I downloaded and emailed to myself. So if you want me to actually send you a link to this PDF so you can actually go and see this word for word and every single thing that's inside of it, go ahead and type in Maggie. Type in Maggie, Maggie, and I'll be sure to send it to you. Either myself or my assistant will send it to you when we get a chance. So let's talk about processes. Reading this chicken scratch, man. So a lot of the time, I'm always focused on relationships over brand. So a lot of people, when you're starting a business, the way that most people think about brand is like the colors and how things look, but not really the words, the ideas, and the people who are actually reading it. So I'm always focused about what things say, not how they look. Now, when you're going from zero to about 15K per month, that is good enough to get you there, right? After you get to, 15, 20, $30,000 a month, then branding can be more effective. And like there's different things we can do. We can talk about that stage if you're there. But if you're generally anywhere between about zero to about 15K per month, it's more important about what you're saying, not necessarily how things look. So the key reason why is because it's easier for you to be people focused and knowing who the right person is when you're talking to them rather than having to like have people come to you look at the website and then be like really like blown away by how cool your stuff looks. Oftentimes if you're on a consultation call and the person says, oh, I need to go look at your website, or do you have a website, or do you have an LLC, do you have like, if they start asking different little facts about your business which are outside of the conversation you have, like it just comes up kind of randomly, it's generally because they don't trust what you're saying. They don't really see you as a person who's very credible. So they're trying to fill in the gaps with what the average person would think would make someone credible. So they're like, do you have insurance? How long you've been in business? When did you incorporate? Are you an LLC or are you an S corp? Like all these like different things that don't really matter towards, because they don't trust you. So what they're doing is they're trying to build up a case in their mind for, okay, I don't really trust this person, but if they have this, they have this, they have this, they have this, maybe that they can be credible. And then they want to go after the call so they can go review your stuff just to kind of tweak things. Instead, if you think less about what your stuff looks like and more about like who do you need to contact, who do you need to talk to, and how do you need to talk to them so they feel very trusting of you and understand your value, that's when you're going to be able to thrive a lot faster. So, for example, when I had a student, his name is John, and when he came in, he had a really good background in sales and marketing. He asked, hey, would it be better for me to like maybe like spend time like on a website or a blog? And I was like, no. The first thing that I would do is go look through your old network to see who owns a business or who do you have access to that could potentially know business owners. Now, there is a right way to go and interact with them inside the program. I like give you like scripts exactly what to say to reactivate those past networks. But this particular case, he knew a gentleman that actually was like connected to like this real estate guru. It's like a not a real estate, he was a it's like a life insurance guru. So the guy basically like sells life insurance. And when he got connected to him, he said, yeah, the guy was kind of weird. I didn't really think much of him. But when he actually started talking to the guy had his company has 187 licensed life insurance agents underneath him. I was like, ooh, that's 187 different referral partners he can now go meet and go contact and go talk whenever they have like their quarterly meetings in person, right? And online. But then on top of that, that gentleman actually is ahead of this conference in Las Vegas. It's happening like I think like the middle of May, but it's 500 life insurance agents plus 500 other CPAs all in the same room. And the guy liked John so much, he said, hey, maybe you can like, present for 20 minutes. Now, John is the only person in that room that does bookkeeping, that is a bookkeeper, that's not a CPA. So we're basically designing like a presentation they can use to go and get a bunch of those people not only refer clients to them, but also get a lot of subcontracting work. So now the cool thing about that is if any one of those 500 CPAs wants to refer work or subcontract work to him, that is between $2,000 to $8,000 per month in monthly recurring revenue from one of them. There are 500 inside that room, and John actually is really good at speaking and with the way that we're going to kind of write his presentation to be able to go and get a really good amount of interest. So we are looking super forward to that. But the whole point of that is it's not about going to the website, it's about going after people. It's about really going through space to talk to people, understanding people, thinking about your network, thinking about networking, right? So you can start just exploding that reach, right? Knowing me back when I started my accounting firm, in order to go get in front of 1,000 people like him, I would have had to go do probably like 20 networking events per day, every single day, in like 3 or 5 cities around where I live. Like there was no way that I could get in front of that many people when I first started, right? But that's because I was focused on my website, my brochures, my business cards, and I was trying to be the one that hands out every single business card, right? It's all about learning how to find the people who already have the ideal audience or your target market already sitting inside their pocket. So rather than having to spend a year building up, relationships, you can just tap into the relationships that they've already spent years building, right? So then you can grow your business exponentially faster. So John, I mean, with the sales skills that he has, as well as the kind of presentation we're going to be making, it is going to be amazing. I'm super excited. What he's going to actually have a problem doing is having capacity to handle it. Right now, he has about five, I think it's like between 3 to 4 bookkeepers underneath him. Um, Even though his business is just getting started, he built it kind of to scale from the start. So even though his revenue is not super high, right, it's growing pretty quickly. So when he gets this new lead in November to actually do this presentation, he's gonna probably have get pretty hit with capacity. So it's gonna be really cool to kind of see that happening and just see that progress. I'll actually be able to update you guys as that happens. Yeah, if you want to know the exact process that John used in order to go and get in front of that referral partner, go ahead and write referral force, referral force. Write that inside the comment section, and I'll see if I have either the training or like I felt like a back. Yeah, I probably have a training that I can show you that breaks down the exact principles behind what he did to go and get. I'm not saying to go speak on stage, but being able to be in the room with people that can afford to send you in front of that many people who are high value. Okay, so next process can be your consultation call process. So inside of your consultation call process, there's a number of different steps you have to do. Number one, you have to go and like basically gain and build base level respect. What I mean by that is business owners are not necessarily like don't take it the wrong way. It's not that they're disrespecting you. It's just that they don't really see you on the same level or above them in terms of your skill set, especially the more success they are. So if you're new and you don't really know how to carry yourself correctly, and the business owner is doing like a million, 2 million, 3 million, $4 million per year, it's almost like you have to be able to learn how to gain the respect and at least get on an even footing in order for you to be able to have a chance to start influencing them and telling them what they need to be doing in this kind of regard. If they don't feel that, they generally do not follow your lead. They don't follow your process. They try and ask you a million questions. They want to direct the whole conversation. They want to tell you what it is. And it's not that they're doing it in a mean way. It's just they're trying to save as much time as possible because they feel they're very, very busy. So if you learn how to start getting that base level respect, so you go from like here to here, as far as like how they see you in terms of business and in terms of this process, and if you doing their books, then it makes it a lot easier for later inside of the call for you to be able to go. So number two is going to be about finding problems, right? This is the questions you ask. It's not just about asking how many bank accounts do you have, how many do you need me to do invoicing, do you need me also to do payroll? It's not just about the factual stuff. It's about the emotional side. Like, what are the different problems? Why do they feel it's a problem? Why do they actually want to fix this thing now? Like, what does this actually work to them? What does the ideal situation look like for them to fix this? If they did fix it, why is it important to fix it now? What happens if they don't? Like, there's all these different questions you need to be thinking, you need to be asking them in order to get an accurate picture of the full level of pain and awareness they are about the service that you're offering, why they need to get this problem fixed, and what is the value of the service that they're going to be able to pay. After you do that, your job is then to illuminate the path of how you will fix the pains and problems, okay? And which of the problems you won't fix. This is very important. So whenever you're talking to them, it's not just about seeing which problems they have and trying to fix every single problem, right? Because in some cases it might be like they might have a problem when it comes to like marketing, but it's bleeding over into their accounting. They don't really understand how to fix it. So you can do that, but you're not going to be fixing the marketing, right? So it's important for you not only to tell them what you do, but also draw the line at the stuff that you don't do. Number one, because you want to set proper expectations. Number two, you want to protect your time. And number three, the more stuff that you don't do, the more the business owner starts seeing you as more of like an expert in a very specific kind of space, right? So there's a number of different ways you can kind of niche. You can niche across industries, you can niche across personalities of business owners you work with. You can also niche across services and your scope of work. I prefer to niche within the scope of work because then it makes it very simple for the business owner to understand, okay, this guy is really good at what he does in terms of this. And then once you get really good at that, then they start even building more of that trust and more of that respect we keep talking about. So by the end of the conversation, at the beginning you might start here, but it's like as the conversation goes, you're trying to go here, 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 and by the end they're asking you questions like, "Man, you're really good. Should I go with you? Like what should we be doing? How should we be running my business?" Like if they start asking you questions about like how to run their overall business, not just about accounting and bookkeeping, by the end of the conversation they have with you, that means they fully respect you. They fully see you as an expert and they're fully ready to defer to your guidance and want you to actually help them move forward. And you're the only person they be thinking about working, right? After that, you want to make sure that you're explaining your communication process. Okay. Another process. You want to see how do you communicate? When do you communicate? What's your response time? What's your expectation of them? What is like the limits of your day? Like, you don't want them calling you at 3 a.m. in the morning. Not saying that all of them will, but like some people have tried to call me at like 3 a.m. in the morning. That's a no go, right? They were immediately filed. Like first we had the conversation, right? But if they did that again, it's just like boom, we're gone, we're done. Sorry, right? But it's all about learning how to communicate that process effectively. So again, they see you as more of an expert, right? You're not some person that you just call up out of the blue because you're busy. You have stuff that you're doing. You have other things that are going on. You have other clients, right? And the more you communicate, the more you can show that, the easier it is to keep building that baseline respect. After that, you're going to want to talk about your pricing and just really have the conversation there. After there, you want to handle logistics and reframe emotional concerns. So I actually added a video module inside of my program about when to reframe versus when to schedule a follow-up call. So what I mean by reframe, sometimes people talk about like objection handling, right? But that has a really negative connotation because you need to really understand, is it that the person cannot do something or they are not slash will not do something, right? Cannot is different than will not. Cannot means that the person, like logistically, they don't have the cash flow, they don't have the budget, they're in a contract with another provider that prevents them from actually doing it. They might need be taking out a loan, they might be getting approved for something, right? Like they physically cannot do this, right? They just don't have the budget to pay you $5,000 a month, right? That's a cannot. Versus a won't slash will not is someone who has the cash flow, has it, but they want to think more time. Like I just want to think about it. Or it's more of I don't really see the value, or it's more of I don't know if you're the right fit, or it's more of like it's more of like stuff that it's like optional stuff where if they can get that straightened out in their head, they can totally pull the trigger. If something is more of a logistic that they cannot do it, we're generally trying to schedule a follow-up call. If the person just will not do it, then we can reframe them right then and there and give them a different perspective about how to think about the situation at hand in order to give them a better view of the world in order to then help them make the decision a little bit easier. Or even if the decision is to not work with you, we want to make sure they have full clarity and full decisiveness in the decision that they're making, right? Because the last thing you want is to get off a consultation call and you don't actually know if the person actually wants to work with you or not, right? That's gonna be the biggest thing, the biggest challenge people face. So if you want to learn about that, if you want me to send you the video module so you can actually watch it, go ahead and type in reframe. Type in reframe, and I will be sure to send that to you when it becomes available and it's finished uploading. Now, this alone, okay, this alone literally can increase your closing percentage and your success rate on consultation calls by 20%. The reason why, let us say that you have five leads, right? So oftentimes you might hear me talk about how my students inside of my program close between about 43 to about 75% of the people I speak to on the first consultation call. The reason is for this secret alone. So out of five leads, let's say that one out of five of your leads automatically signs up with you just because, right? They just really like you and you're good enough sales wise, right? But there are four other people that have not. So let's assume that one of these people is a no, right? So you have three really good leads that could potentially sign up with you. Now, okay, so we're already at 20%. One out of five is 20% close rate. We still have three other leads. So we schedule a follow-up call with the three leads. So one out of three of these leads does not show up to your follow-up call. They just don't feel like it. The second person shows up, but maybe they pose a lot of objections. They just say, no, it's not a good fit. The third person then shows up. You run through your process using the reframe sheet that we're talking about right now. You understand exactly how to reframe them a little bit better and like what is the criteria for when you should do it versus when you shouldn't. And then you're able to sign this person up, right? So now you've just closed two out of five. That means you are at a 40% close rate, right? And you just keep doing that, keep doing that, keep doing that. And then four out of those three people, right? Remember the one person said just wasn't a good fit. If you have a good follow-up process in place, then within the next 3 weeks to 6 months, maybe they tried something cheaper, maybe something like a life change happened, maybe the bank came back and said you can't get a loan unless you have this thing figured out. This person comes back. So now you've closed three out of five. That's a 60% close rate, right? So you don't need a million leads if you understand when and how to schedule a follow-up call and how to actually structure your sales process so that you can milk as much or squeeze as much juice out of the leads as possible. So you don't need as many leads. You can focus on doing client work and you just focus on getting the right people on the phone in the first place and then just running through like some of like the different sales scripts we give you. Now, exactly. And the difference between a 10% close rate and a 30% close rate when your average client is worth $1,000 to $2,000 per month is world apart for income, right? It's peace of mind, income, and confidence. So yeah, make sure you do that. Cool. Comment the reframe below if you want me for me to send you that. I am running a little bit over time today. So I think next time, actually, what I can do is I can actually go and make a little bit of a longer video that talks about the ways that she actually went and got the leads to grow her business. Send you the video of the process she used to actually go get the two leads. Go ahead and copy and write down Maggie Leads, Maggieleads. So Maggie Leads. So I'll actually send you the back video that actually shows what she did to go and get that. And I'll send it to you because I do have to get going. I do have an appointment coming up pretty soon. So I will talk to you soon. Have a great rest of your day. And also, if you want some help growing your business, maybe you've tried the things on your own. Maybe you've tried to get clients. Maybe you've been thinking about creating the formula or creating the package or creating your business, but there's just a lot of stuff that's involved. It's a little bit overwhelming, and you don't really see a clear path towards reaching your goals, whether that's financial, whether it's like a style of life or quality of life. If you want help and you're tired of really going through that trial and error, go ahead and click on the link either above or below the video to book a call with me to see if I can help you out. Now, I don't work with everybody, right? We do, keep it to about 10 to 12 people per month that we accept inside the program. But if you do qualify, I'm going to be sure to tell you, okay, this is exactly what it looks like to work together. This is the steps it's going to take for you to reach your goals. Here are the pricing. Here's the structure of how this thing is organized. And then you can decide right then and there, like if you want to move forward or if it's not really the right time. If that's you, I'd love to see you on the call. If not, no harm, no foul. I will see you inside of the next video. Take it easy and talk to you soon. Have a good one.